Hi everybody, we're live on Carnivory Revolution and we are going to be making an awesome recipe tonight from JC. You guys know her as Lady Carnivory, and she has this delicious recipe where you whip up the egg whites and then you put them in the oven and you bake them with an egg yolk kind of on top. Really great recipe. It's definitely a different take on eggs, and I think we're gonna have a lot of fun when she gets here. Jesselyn's coming now. There she is. Hi.
Hi.
We just are waiting on JC now, and we're going to start making these delicious eggs. So Jess actually gets to have eggs for breakfast today.
Yep.
Right? We haven't made eggs before.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me too. Have eggs for dinner.
I already started whipping because I don't have a, what's it called?
A whisk or a mixer, you mean?
A mixer, yeah. I don't have a mixer, so I've already started doing it so I can get some eggs that are peaked up.
Okay, that's awesome. And we're sporting our new aprons. Gotta have aprons, right?
Yeah.
We both have our Carnivory Revolution aprons on today. That's so exciting. Let's see. So JC says, did she ask to join? Here she is. Here she comes. Yay, there she is.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
So I'm just going to turn my volume up a bit.
I already started on mine, so.
Oh, yes. I felt so bad when you were like, I don't have a mixer. And I was like, oh, maybe this is not the recipe for you.
No, I'll just get an arm workout this morning.
She likes it. She doesn't mind a bit.
Okay, so what do we have to do first?
So you want to preheat your oven to 425 F at 200 degrees Celsius for the non-Americans. And then you want to separate your egg whites and your yolks. And I always like to keep my yolks in like separate little dishes. It makes it a lot easier to pour back into the fluffy cloud eggs later on.
Okay.
So if you're doing, I've done like 5 at a time before, so you can do this in bulk. You don't have to do them one at a time, which is really nice. But yeah, I think that's basically where we're at now. Once your whites are separated, you'll mix them. You can always add cream of tartar if you have trouble with egg whites getting to stiff peaks. But that's essentially what we're going for.
So I have a question. When I separate my egg yolks from my egg whites, my yolks do not stay together. Is there a trick to keep your yolks together? Because they burst.
Oh, you know, it really depends on the freshness of your egg, I would say. But or like if you have an egg separator, I find that those work really well. Or like at times I haven't had an egg separator, I'll use like a slotted spoon. I don't think I have one here, but you can crack it with a slotted spoon and that can help too.
Okay.
I'm
And
really
if you guys watching have any questions, make sure to leave them in the little question box next to the comment box, and it'll be easier to pull up and put on the screen so Lady Carnivory can answer you guys' questions.
Yeah, we'll be able to see questions easier like that too, because they get bigger for us. If you click on that question, it looks for comments either way. The easiest way for us.
So how was your day, JC?
My day was good. I was really busy at work, you know, coming back from a holiday weekend. It's like, oh man, that work did not go on a holiday. How about you guys? Serena, how is your Instagram? Like, did you get your access back yet?
I did.
Or sorry,
You
did?
I have my my personal, well, not my personal, my Serena.carnivore page back, and then I got my Facebook back last night. But I do have my personal Instagram page back yet. But I cannot.
I'm gonna go rinse my hands. I just cracked my eggs.
If you guys have any questions, ask away.
Broke to
two of my yolks, so they're not going to look so good. Whew, our workout. Can you hear that? Is that really loud?
I can definitely hear that. It sounds like my biceps hurt.
That's the secret. That's the secret right there to biceps is whisking your own eggs.
That's right.
I was looking through my recipes to try and find one we could make, and I'm like, everything uses a mixer.
Yeah.
I don't have any kitchen appliances.
So if anybody has any questions for us, make sure you type them below. Down at the bottom, there's a little circle with a question mark in it, and that's the place to ask questions about being a carnivore or what we eat.
How to get ripped biceps, digest.
That's right.
You want my workout routine?
That's right.
It's just making this.
You'll be so glad you did.
What?
You'll be so glad you did.
My birthday's coming up, and my mom asked me what I want for my birthday, and I might ask her for a mixer.
Yeah, that would be good.
I feel like
So
even
for
like
those-
the ones with the cranks would be easier.
Yeah.
What?
They have ones like with a crank.
With a what?
A crank. You like spin the crank.
Yeah.
You spin it?
Yeah. You spin it. It's like a whisk with a handle on top, and you spin it, and the two things spin at the bottom.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. I don't know anything about kitchen stuff. I'm such a coming along.
Yeah, I'm almost done.
I feel like I tell this story a lot, but when I was in elementary school, my mom was baking a cake, and she was putting the beaters in the mixer right as my sister plugged it in, and her fingers got jammed in the beater. So every time I take these out, it's always like,
Be careful.
Oh no. So how did you find this recipe?
where did I see this? I bet it was, something I saw on Pinterest. I spend an ungodly amount of time on Pinterest. So I'm sure I saw very much. I am not a recipe follower. It's very ironic, I know, but like I'll see a picture of something and I'll just be like, I'm going to make that. And I won't look at the recipe. So I can't credit the recipe to anyone. I'm sure it's a picture I saw and then I was like, I'm going to make that.
Yeah. So for those that are asking what we're making, for those that are just joining us, we are making fluffy cloud eggs. Is that how you would say it?
Yes.
So we're whipping the egg whites, and then we're going to put those on a pan and put an egg yolk like right in the center of it.
I don't know how close Jess is, but I'm at the point of putting my egg whites on my parchment paper.
It looks good.
Does that look good?
Yeah. I can't believe you beat that by hand. You're a beast.
She is.
Okay, so what's the next step?
So you're just going to take your egg whites, and I prefer to do this on parchment paper, but if you don't have that, you can do it on greased aluminum foil. But do make sure it's greased, because otherwise it's going to be a nightmare to get off. And then basically you want to pile up your egg whites into kind of a mound. Mine are pretty stiff here, so I'm going to mount them up as best I can. And then you're going to create a little divot in the center, kind of like a egg volcano.
Okay.
Because that's where we're going to put the egg yolk. But don't put the egg yolk yet, because we're going to bake the whites first.
Okay.
So is there a difference between parchment paper and wax paper? Because I used wax paper first and then Googled it, and it's not heat resistant?
Right.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm glad I didn't use it. I got parchment paper later, though.
Okay.
I have actually done that with wax paper, and I could not understand what I was doing wrong. This is probably 15 or 20 years ago, but I was so upset. The kitchen was smoking up, and I kept saying, but I don't understand. Other people use this, but it turns out I wasn't using the right thing.
So what is wax paper used for?
Like people use it like pie shells and stuff. It's because it's not as slippery as parchment paper. So I think people use it for making pies maybe or something. If you're watching and you know what people use wax paper for, tell us, because I really don't have any idea either.
Yeah, because now I have a whole roll and I don't know what to do with it.
That is so funny. Let's see. Oh, for wrapping food, somebody says. So I guess you can tape wax paper, but you can't tape parchment paper. Like you can't tape it closed because literally nothing sticks to it.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so I'll show you my little egg mounds and holes here.
So what is the oven supposed to be set for again?
425F or 200C.
425. So, okay.
Here's mine. I have my mounds, and then I made holes in the center.
Okay.
Can I make one big one?
Yeah, absolutely. I offered to make one for my mom too, so.
Oh, nice.
Oh, and another thing is you can mix cheese into this, or like bacon bits, or whatever you want.
Oh,
so
nice.
Once the egg whites are whipped, you can add like shredded cheese, you can add Parmesan. I've done bacon bits. It's kind of nice because it's like a base recipe for whatever you want to add to it.
Okay.
So you put cheese in before the first time you bake it?
I'm sorry?
You put the cheese in the first time you bake it on the first round?
Yes, so you can do it a couple different ways. I've made like a bed of cheese on the bottom and then baked that for a little bit so that it gets crispy, and then you put the egg whites on top and then you bake it again. And then you have like a crispy cheese bottom. Or what you can do is you can take the cheese and you can fold it into the egg whites so you don't lose a lot of volume. Either way, super good.
So what if because I have some feta, what if I baked it and then put the yolks in and then put the feta on for the second bake? Do you think that would be good?
Yes. I think cheese can only ever improve anything at any step.
I agree. I agree 100% with that statement.
Okay, here's mine.
Gorgeous.
Good job. Here's mine. So I made 4, but I had some extra egg whites on mine because we made ice cream earlier today. And so I had those egg whites already separated. And so I have a little bit more egg whites than I do yolks, but it's fine.
It's a great way to use up egg whites.
Yes.
So you'll put your egg whites in the oven and you're going to bake for 3 minutes.
Okay.
So Jess, because yours is one big one, you might want to do more like 5 minutes.
Okay.
You ready?
We're good. So what is your favorite recipe that you've made of yours?
Oh man, that's gotta be slutty eggs. And I didn't even make it, but I would say like it's the recipe I like the most that I'm known for. It's just a French slow scramble, but it's so good.
Yeah, when I made those the first time, it blew my mind, and someone asked me what it was, and I told them, and they were like, "You, that's just normal scrambled eggs," and I was like, "Well, then you're lucky that that's how you've been eating scrambled eggs your whole life, because I've been eating dry eggs."
Yeah. Dry, rubbery scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
That was my life.
Yeah, that's how I've been eating them my whole life too. Actually, I like over easy the best, but I tend to not eat as many eggs as I used to since I don't eat bread anymore. But I still like eggs, and every once in a while, like not even once a month, maybe once every 2 months, I will make like the egg white bread just because sometimes I want the egg with the crunch of a piece of bread with butter on it, you know, but I don't do that very often. I just find it to be kind of a pain. And so I don't do it as much as I was at the beginning. At the beginning, I used it definitely as a crutch, but it does come in handy for eggs that are over easy or runny yolks. I really enjoy that, but I don't do it very often.
So I really like this recipe because if you've ever had like dippy eggs and soldiers or like soft scrambled egg or soft boiled egg with like toast,
Yeah.
this really replicates that because you can pull apart the egg white, kind of like the egg white loaf, but without all of the effort.
Yeah.
I like the egg white yolk, but it's just so much effort. So doing it this way, you kind of get that sensation of like dipping the bread into the yolk.
So somebody is asking, do you crease the parchment paper? When I use parchment paper, everything sticks. Is there a special way to use it? I have never had anything stick to parchment paper ever. Have you guys?
I don't use parchment paper very often. I think this might be the first time I'm using it.
Really?
I am not a cook.
You're doing great.
Thanks.
But I'm really funny about my pans. Like I have these big pans from Sam's that I'm actually using one now, even though I didn't need to use that large pan. But I actually don't ever cook on the surface of my pan. Those two pans that I have never been used without parchment paper on them because I don't like to clean the pan.
Oh, I'm with you.
Stick to it. I don't ever like to do that.
I'm not like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Laura, I think it might just be Australian parchment paper sucks.
Maybe it just is just maybe it's different there.
I did try it with English parchment paper and that worked.
Very interesting. Wonder how they're different. Wonder what it's made of that would make it different like that.
Maybe she's using wax paper.
Maybe that I can see. Somebody says grease it if it's sticking, that they've done that before. So it might be worth trying that just to see if maybe you can get it to not stick, because parchment paper really is just such a huge blessing to keep you from having to wash all those pans all the time.
Yeah, I never even thought of using it until I think the first time I actually used it was when we did the chicken skin video.
Oh, yeah.
And now I think I'm gonna be using this for the rest of my life now.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a great invention. It really helps, you know, when you're cooking a lot and stuff.
So I have another question. How do you guys feel about, because I was looking at the cheese that I have, and sometimes there's like some gums and stuff in cheese. Like, how do you guys feel about those additives that they put in cheese? Like what, because the ricotta cheese I got had a bunch of weird things, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Oh, I'm probably not the right person to ask about this. I'm like the chillest carnivore ever. If it doesn't impact you, I don't think it matters. Like in the grand scheme of things, you're still eating better than 99.99% of people are. But obviously, if you have sensitivities to it or you are experiencing GI issues, I think that's like something you can look at to eliminate to see if it makes you feel better.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like if I am eating 100% strict carnivore, I don't even. So if I am 100% strict in eating the way that I'm eating, I'm really not going to worry about like the sugar in my bacon, which I figured out anyway, and I'm not going to worry if it's to buy shredded cheese this time because I have a busy week or whatever. I'm not really going to worry about that. I'm pretty careful. Nothing comes out of a package except like the cheese and the butter. You know, nothing is processed. I don't eat a lot of processed meats like deli meat or pepperoni and stuff. So I feel like if there's a little bit of something in my cheese that I eat a couple of times a week, I'm not going to worry about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering why do they even need to put that in there? I guess to like preserve it, but
It's anti-caking, isn't it? I think it keeps it from.
Typically, the gums you see in like heavy cream and cheeses are to thicken it. So you are buying technically a lower quality product. So if you can find one without thickeners, it's probably a better quality product because it has that natural thickness to it. But like Serena said, I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things.
does this look done or do I need to go a little more?
So we're going to bake it again with the yolks.
Okay.
Essentially, you want to make sure it's not wet in the center, and you can kind of poke the center and see how it feels. I've never had this be undercooked though, so I would be extremely surprised if yours was.
Okay.
So next we're going to add the yolks. Sorry, I'm just reading my instructions here. We're going to add the yolks and then you want to bake for an additional 3 minutes. You can bake longer depending on how you like your eggs. So like soft is 3 minutes, medium would be like 4 to 5, and then hard would be 5 to 7. I'm just going to drop my yolks in my little wells here. And I like to salt them because I like to salt everything.
Okay. I broke 2 of mine, so I'm going to see if I can just. Oh, I broke that one too.
It's okay. It still tastes good. It's like jammy in the center. It's really good.
Oh.
Okay, I added.
My recipes are very much like a child has to be able to do it because otherwise I'm not going to be able to cook it.
Yeah, when we made your enchiladas, I screwed up like every single step of the way, I'm pretty sure, and they still came out delicious.
Mine are.
Sorry, my oven is really loud.
Mine made a mess. I'm gonna add a little bit of cheese to mine. Is this one I would.
Yeah, you can add cheese now, absolutely. Gorgeous.
I'm gonna just add a little bit.
So I heard about this new cheese I want to try. It's called Brunost or Brunost. It's a Nordic cheese, but it's kind of like the brown butter of cheeses because they let it caramelize. So you know how everyone's about brown butter right now because it's like you caramelize the milk solids?
Yeah.
So this cheese is called Brunost or Brunost. It's Brunost. It's like the cheese version of that. And I am like looking so hard for it because I want to try it so bad.
Interesting. That sounds really good. I tried a new cheese that I saw at the grocery store, and it was French Salute. Is that how you say it? Have you heard of that? It's like a white, really creamy cheese.
I've heard of Port Salut, but not French Salut.
Maybe it's Port Salute, and it's just French Port Salute.
Maybe.
It's really good. I love white cheese. I've never liked yellow cheese for some reason. I've always liked white cheese, except for brie, I guess, because I tried that and I did not enjoy the taste of that.
Yeah.
You know what? I really like camembert more than brie, and it's kind of a similar format. It's like that circular rind that you bake and it gets gooey on the inside, and it's kind of like a self-preserved fondue because if you bake it, you score the top and then you bake it, and you can actually like dip, like I dip sausages into it, but you can dip whatever into it. But it's like fondue without all the faff of like getting a fondue pot and all that.
Nice.
Oh, I love fondue. What's it called?
Camembert?
Camembert.
Camembert.
Okay. I'll have to try that. When we lived in North Carolina, we had this fondue restaurant that we would go to down by the beach, and it was so good. It was like one of my favorite things about North Carolina.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing.
How much longer do you guys have?
I think I have like a minute.
I have 2.
I probably have 2 minutes. I'm so bad I never set a timer.
So when
I'm the same way. I said I have 2. I was totally guessing.
I like that we're just winging it. That's my favorite way to cook, though.
Fine. It's fine.
Like
Yeah.
I said, like I don't follow recipes, so even like for me, writing a recipe is really difficult because it's like I just kind of throw things together, and then in retrospect, I'm like, how did I do that?
I wish I knew how to do that. That's me too.
Like now I have to reverse engineer it. Uh-oh.
That's right. Wait a minute. What did I do here?
It's a lot easier when you like record everything because at least I can look back and be like, oh, okay.
I'm really bad at following like measurement directions. Like I won't read the directions in that sense. Like I'll read the directions in the vague of like you put it in the oven or you do this, you do that, but like measurements, I'm just like, okay, and just plop stuff in.
We are currently having a thunderstorm, and our dog does not like thunder. I think most dogs don't, but she sits at the door asking to go down to the basement. I guess that's like her safe place. She can't hear it as well down there, and she knows that. She's a big German Shepherd, strong, and she runs super fast. Boy, it starts to thunder, and she sits at that door, and we open the door, and she goes down there in the dark all by herself. And last night, because of the fireworks, she was down there like 3 hours by herself.
Poor thing.
I know. I feel so bad for her. When I went down there after the fireworks and I was petting her, I could feel her stomach rumbling, and I felt so sorry for her.
Oh, no.
My mom has he's a Doberman boxer mix. He's like 100 pounds and same thing. He's such a weenie with thunder and fireworks, but they always give him CBD treats, like dog treats. And so then he's just stoned all night. It's hilarious because he like can barely open his eyes.
That's my big dog. I had to leave with my parents. She's a scaredy cat too. Like she's scared of the ceiling fan. And when you walk into a room and there's a ceiling fan, and I'm like, what did a ceiling fan ever do to you? And I told my mom that she needs to get her some CBD, but I don't think she can find any. But it's California, so she probably can somewhere.
I can send you the link to the brand that my mom gets.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, she also like arms off a lot, so she's always hiding when the oven is on. And she should be in the kitchen begging for bacon, but instead she's like hiding under a table.
That's hilarious. Mine are done. I like mine pretty soft. I feel like we need that, that annoying TikTok song that's everywhere right now, that jiggle jiggle.
Oh yeah.
My eggs don't jiggle.
Yeah.
They don't fold, they jiggle. Ours is opposite.
Yeah.
My eggs do jiggle jiggle.
Yeah.
And these are beautiful. JC, what a great, beautiful.
It's so fun and it's so easy.
Love.
Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm literally like just picking it up off the parchment. It does not stick.
That is awesome.
Let my mistakes see what will happen here.
That's beautiful.
It's so cute.
It is. I love it.
So typically how I eat this is like I'll tear off pieces from the edges and then dip it into the yolk. So it's like dippy egg.
Yeah.
So good.
Looks wonderful. Are we ready to try it?
Yes.
Okay. Get a piece first.
I feel so much pressure for this to be good because you did all that hand whipping. Like it better be worth it.
I'm sure it'll be good. I'm
You're
ready. Oh, this is fun.
Ooh, it's dripping. Ooh.
Gooey gooey egg.
Ready? Bon appetit.
Oh, I ate some already. Ooh, this is good.
Wow, I like that. That is very good.
Get it.
It's just fun, different, a new way to do eggs.
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever got bored of slutty eggs, which you could.
Yeah, I really like this. I love the texture of it. It's completely different. It doesn't even taste like eggs.
No, so that's the other thing. Like with egg white bread, my main complaint is like, unless you toast it in butter, it tastes like farts. Like no one can convince me otherwise. That bread is so gross unless you put it in butter. But this doesn't taste like that to me. And I don't know what the difference is, but I enjoy this.
Hi, Karen. Hopped on. Yeah, fork optional, somebody said. That's true. Like, you don't really need the fork. You could pick it up and eat it, but the fork is essential if you want some of the yolk with each bite, I think. Right?
I'm just using my hands and getting messy.
Yeah.
That is very good.
How filling it is. I can't believe this is just 3 eggs too, and I feel like this would be really filling because scramble, not even slutty egg scramble, but just regular scramble. If you eat 3 eggs, it's like not filling at all. Yeah. But just eat it a little bit, and now you have this like massive plate of eggs.
Yeah, I feel the same way about egg pudding. I find that when I make egg pudding, I am much more full than I am when I just make the 3 scrambled eggs or whatever.
Oh, me. I want to do next time. I want to do your idea of putting the cheese under and making it crispy, and then putting it on top.
Yeah, me too.
So good. That's one of my other favorite recipes. It's the breakfast taco where you like fry cheese in a pan and then crack the eggs in it, put bacon and fold it over. So it's like a taco of cheese. It's so good. It's a lot of cheese though. I don't have it very often.
Good.
I'm making a mess. My apron's been christened. I've stripped all the way down my apron.
I definitely got egg on me.
Mm-hmm. Well, this was so much fun. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for inviting me. This was a ton of fun. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe. Jess, I'm glad you liked it because I would have felt so bad if you hand whipped it for so long and it was awful.
But I would have got it out anyway. I got, my forearms are like done now.
That's awesome. Very good recipe, JC. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We really had a great time, and we hope you'll come back and do something else with us.
Oh, I have so many recipes. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. We'll get something on the calendar soon.
Yay! Thank you, and thanks guys for watching.
Thank you so much. Join us next time on the Carnivory Revolution.